Hey babes, my name's Hannah.
And my name is Chasity.
Welcome back to Bookish Babes. Now that we have wrapped up 2021, we did our final December wrap-up of the year, we did our favorite books of 2021, we're now going to walk you guys through our 2022 reading goals. We each have 5 that we want to talk about. I feel like we did this same video last year.
I think we did too.
I wish I had rewatched it to see if I stuck with those. I'm sure that I didn't.
I'm positive I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I know I have at least one of the same things on here.
So our reading goals for 2022 years is 100 books.
Yes.
Mine is 60. I feel like 60 is manageable for me. Mine was 50 last year. I haven't tracked since like the spring or the summer on Goodreads, so I have no idea if I actually met it. I'm sure that I got close if I didn't meet it. She was 2 away.
I had 100 last year and I was at 98. I'm gonna do it.
But you read 98 books last year.
98.
That's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of books.
I feel like you should be happy with that.
I am really happy with it. I mean, I read 95 the year before.
So you did better than the year before.
So I did better than the year before.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna get to 100.
I'm gonna get to 60 this year, and I think that that's manageable for me. I already read about a book a week, so I'll just have to up that a little bit because there's 52 weeks in a year. So as long as I up that.
And you're adding audiobooks, right?
Yep.
So I think that that's manageable.
So the first goal that we want to talk about is actually a mutual goal. We were kind of talking about it earlier. We want to reread some of Colleen Hoover's older books. They're blowing up on Book Talk right now, but we read them years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't remember all the details from some of these books. And I want to feel what these people are feeling reading it, you know?
Also, I want to see if
I feel the same about them.
Yeah.
I feel like I will.
I feel like I will, but I feel like some of them...
Like, will my favorite still be my favorite by her?
Yeah, but I also feel like some of my feelings may change a little. I was at different parts of my life where certain things happened. And now I think some things may hit me harder and some things may not hit me as hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
I also just at this point in my life prefer different books than I did before. So will maybe someday still be my favorite Colleen Hoover book?
I don't know.
Who knows? But like I said, it's just been years since we've read these books, and now watching everybody else read them for the first time, I kind of want to reread some of them.
I'm really excited to reread Too Late. That's one that I really want to reread.
I don't remember all the details from Too Late, but I remember it being, and I don't hear people talking about it on Book Talk.
And that was one of my favorites.
Yes, for sure.
And I forget about it.
We'd have to rewatch our whole... I wonder if we should re-rank them after we reread them.
I think so.
Because maybe our ranking will be different.
I think so too.
We have a whole video ranking all of our opinions on the Colleen Hoover books.
Yes, and then we have another video re-ranking them after her new ones came out. We did 2 rankings.
We're about to do 3.
We're about to do it again.
Yeah, so that is one of our goals is to reread. I probably won't read all of them because especially like the more recent ones, I still remember those pretty well, but the older ones for sure. Ugly Love.
Yeah, and I recently bought some of them on audiobook too. Yeah. So like, yeah, I can listen to the audiobook.
And Too Late for sure. I want to reread.
I really want to reread.
But like Hopeless, I'm fine. I don't need to reread that one. I think I'm okay without that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I do want to reread Slammed though. I want to see if it hits me as hard.
It might not. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's one that I'm interested to see if it hits me as hard.
Yeah. My top goal for 2022 is to read at least 45 minutes every day. I think for 2021 it was 30 minutes. I'm sure I pretty much stuck with that most days.
Okay.
I stopped tracking it and stopped really like being mindful about it, but I pretty much read almost every day. So I'm sure I read for at least 30 minutes. But it's 45 minutes every day and I'm gonna be more intentional about it. I'd like to be more intentional about not being on my phone before I go to bed and reading instead. I don't want to check my phone first thing in the morning. I'd like to maybe while I'm drinking my coffee in the morning read instead of scrolling through social media. I just feel like it'll be better for my brain.
I think that's a good one for me too.
Yeah, so that's my goal, at least 45 minutes every day. And I'm sure if I do it before I go to bed and do it a little bit in the morning, that I'll have no problem hitting that 45 minutes. And it's really easy to do.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do as well. Same. I'm going to add that one in there.
Ditto.
Yeah, because I do the same. I think avoiding, and I was doing really good with that too, like cutting down my social media time and doing more It's just mindless Facebook scrolling. Doesn't need to be done. It's just a waste of time. I can get more reading done that way. And
like,
and plus it depresses me.
Scroll through Facebook and you look down and you realize it's been like an hour.
Yeah, it just depresses me.
I just wasted an hour.
There's no reason for it.
Yeah, it doesn't bring me any joy. It's just easy to do. So
yeah, so that's definitely a thing.
Yes.
And my phone at the end of the week will tell me, like, if my screen time is up or down.
Mine was like 6 hours a day last week. That's ridiculous. I should not be on my phone. To be fair, I do read a lot on my phone because I have the Kindle app. I don't always carry around my Kindle or a physical book, but a lot of that is scrolling through social media, and I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't
6 hours a day, that's insane.
And I have deleted already some of the social media apps that, like, I don't need.
I think I'm going to delete my Facebook this year, but that's unrelated.
I deleted TikTok a while ago.
Oh, I love TikTok though. TikTok is the only one that does bring me joy. Because it's funny. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, but that's one I will spend a lot of time on.
It's bad. It's bad.
So, yeah. I got rid of it.
Maybe I need to I wish I had something like Instagram, where on Instagram you can go in and you can set a timer and it'll notify you. Like, I have mine for 25 minutes. And it'll say, hey, you spent 25 minutes on Instagram today. I know at that point I need to close it out. Because I've already spent 25 minutes on it that day. I wish TikTok had something like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is completely unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of mine is that I definitely want to read more of the books that I already own.
That was a goal last year that we failed at.
That was definitely something I failed at. I definitely bought a lot more books this year, which was kind of part of another one that I did have, which was like branching out into other genres, which I obviously did want to do, but
I think we did good on that.
We did do good on that.
I feel like I did really good on that, and I think you did too.
Yeah. But I definitely need to read more that I own.
Yeah. Instead of just buying new books and ignoring your TBR.
Exactly. So that's like one of my main goals this year is to like get through the ones that I have around my house.
Yes.
Sitting unread.
So while I agree with that goal, one of the other goals kind of negates that. I want to read more new releases. I feel like I'm not great at reading new releases like you are, because you have a book of the month subscription. Also, you work at a bookstore.
True.
I don't know what got released recently. I feel like I'm really bad about reading books that have been out for several years, and then I want to talk about them, and everybody's like, yeah, I read that years ago. So I want to read more new releases.
Okay.
And keep up with new authors. So a personal goal of mine is to, like, every other month read a new release.
Okay.
So I feel like that's pretty good. I can keep up with the new releases that I'm at least interested in. Maybe I'll even get a book of the month subscription, so that makes it a little bit easier. But
yeah, they're nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're nice. They're not expensive,
and they're just always newer. They might not be brand new releases, but they're ones that have come out within the last few months. So. All right. Period.
Yeah, and sometimes they're even early releases.
Yeah.
And they're pretty.
Or they're exclusives, like they're not going to be released in bookstores yet, but you can get them on Book of the Month. Yeah.
And they're really pretty.
Yeah.
I know I just said that I need to buy, or that I need to stop buying books and I need to read ones that I own, but I did buy a book yesterday. And it was It by Stephen King. Because one of my goals this year is to read It by Stephen King. The movie when I was a child, the one with Tim Curry, terrified me. I've been scared of clowns my entire life because of it, okay? I have watched the movie since. I have watched the new ones. I have, like, dealt with that, okay? I'm dealing with that fear. Now I want to overcome that fear, and I want to tackle reading that book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge, gigantic book.
It is.
I have started the audiobook. I don't like the audiobook. I don't like hearing it. It was
too spooky.
It's too spooky for me.
Yeah.
I'm a big baby. So I like to have more control over the actual book. Plus with like Stephen King, we were talking about this, with Stephen King novels, like I feel like they need to actually be read. I need to be able to fully focus on it, even with The Shining or Carrie, you know.
I feel like I would only ever want to listen to them on audiobook if I had already read them and I was just like re-listening.
Exactly.
I feel like if you're going to experience it for the first time, you should read it.
Yeah, and then I think that's how I need to face his books as well.
I read it when I was in high school. Took me like 2 months to get through. Obviously, I was reading other things in between. It's a long book.
Yeah.
Very worth it, though. I like that that's your goal.
Yeah, so that's definitely
You're gonna do it.
List. I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. Maybe in our January wrap-up, we'll talk about it.
I'm gonna read it.
Might not be now.
Might not be now.
She's gonna read it.
I'm gonna, you know, he may end up in the freezer at some point, but but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna read it.
My next one is to read more fantasy. I want to say this was maybe my goal last year too.
I think it
was. It?
I think.
Or maybe it was just reading more genres that I didn't typically pick up. Which
I think we talked about.
I did pretty good. I read some nonfiction this year. I read some fantasy this year. I read some sci-fi that I really enjoyed.
You did? I think we both did some.
Yes. And I feel comfortable with that. I feel like I've got some, I feel like I'll keep that up, but fantasy was the one genre that I feel like I didn't do a fantastic job at reading more of. And it's a genre that I like. Every time I pick it up, I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so I really want to focus more on reading books that bring me joy. And when I read fantasy, it makes me happy. So I am focusing a lot on that. I already have some that I purchased that I will be reading in the beginning of this year, and I just hope to keep up with it. A lot of them are series, so like Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get in that series, and then that can knock that goal out for me if I can keep up with the series. So
yeah, I definitely
be seeing more fantasy on our channel.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely did get some more fantasy throughout this year. Mm-hmm. So like I said, if I read the books that I've purchased,
right,
we'll be good.
Yeah, one thing that I was very proud of for both of us this year is I think we branched out a lot.
We definitely did.
I read a lot of nonfiction this year, which it wasn't something that I used to do. Mm-hmm. And I think you also branched out quite a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like several times in our wrap-ups we were like, so this isn't something I would typically reach for, but I read it this month.
Yeah.
We did good on that this year. That was a goal that we accomplished.
That was a goal that we accomplished. Yes. And that is another one of my reading goals, which is next, is that I have chosen a lot of books outside of the typical genres this year. I've shopped for a lot of books outside my typical genre. Now I need to read the ones that I've shopped for. So that's my next goal, is to go ahead and finish up, the follow through. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of books now that I own that are not, that are sci-fi, or they're fantasy, or they're stuff that I typically wouldn't shop for previously. Mm-hmm. That have piqued my interest, and now they're sitting here waiting for me to read them.
Yeah.
I need to read them now. Mm-hmm. That's my goal.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking about before we started filming this video that we no longer are like exclusively romance readers like we kind of were before. Yep. We did good.
Like with an occasional psychological thriller.
Right? We were like primarily a romance channel, and now I feel like we have this past year bought, like you said, and read a lot of books that I feel like could cater to other people.
Yeah.
Exciting. So, like she said, we want to follow through on that. My last goal, something that I was really shitty at in 2021, is I want to track all of my books on Goodreads. I don't think I've tracked a single book since like April-ish. It was spring or summer of 2021 the last time I tracked a book on Goodreads. So I actually don't even know how many books I read last year. But I want to track them this year because I want to actually know what I'm reading. And then plus the algorithm on Goodreads gives you better suggestions if you actually track everything that you read and like how much you rate it. I just feel like it would be easier. Every time I come over to film, I have to be like, all right, what did I read? What did I rate it? And it's just so much easier to have it all on Goodreads. So I just need to do that this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be it.
Because now it's like daunting, and I need to like go back and catch up. I need to go back and watch all of our old videos and see what I read.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't be as daunting as if like when I finished a book, if I just put it down every time, but I just was really bad at it.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah.
True. My last one is that I need to keep up with my advanced reader copies that I get. Because sometimes I request an advanced reader copy and I don't necessarily know that I'm going to get it. Mm-hmm. So I request a few others and then I end up getting like all of them.
And then suddenly the books are out and you didn't read them advanced.
Right. And now I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute. How's that out already? And so I need, I'd like to keep up with them or like keep better control on myself. Like, why do I need to get an advanced reader copy if I've got 5 books in my to be read pile. What's the point of that, Chasity? There's no point in that.
There's no point.
Stop it. Self-control, it's a thing.
It's just exciting. I can read the books before they even come out.
Oh my god.
But I can only read so many books.
At a time.
Yeah.
So stop it. You psychopath.
Yeah. So there are books that are already out that we would like to get to.
Yeah.
Several.
Hundreds,
if we're being exact.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then I work at a bookstore. It's literally so much self-control.
Yeah.
Like, I need so much self-control. Self-control I don't have.
Right.
All right, so with that, we're leaving you with our reading goals. Let us know down below if you have any reading goals in place. What are you planning on reading this year? Because I have to tell you, I have no idea. Besides it, I have no idea what I'm going to be reading this year.
I think we made a TBR for 2021, and we didn't do that this year.
No, you know what? I'm really struggling. I'm like, what am I going to read right now? I'm like in that middle.
Even though we have hundreds of books in our TBR, but we're still like, what are we going to read?
I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to Akatar.
Yeah.
That's like, I have no idea what I'm going to read.
Yeah.
But let us know down below what your, what your plans are to read. And maybe I will have some in my huge TBR and I'll figure out what I'm going to read next. But comment down below. Like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you know when we post. And we will see you next time. Bye.